Good evening, folks. And we had some pretty good games for the first round of the playoff. I mean, the Alabama obviously looking out for revenge. Alabama ends up beating Oklahoma 34-24. So they get their revenge, and now they'll advance and take on top-ranked Indiana. So that'll be entertaining to see. They'll take them on in the Rose Bowl. So winner there will move on to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And then Tulane, who, I don't know how to describe this. Pretty much was the same result as it was the last time. A complete annihilation by Ole Miss, 41-10. Just 4 points less than it was the last time, 41-10. Ole Miss wins it. And now Ole Miss will advance and take on Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. So, winner there will advance to take on this winner. After a very, very slow start, a scoreless first half. Nobody had a point in the first half. Then, the second half, Miami gets on the board first with the multiple missed field goals, which is sad. Miami gets on the board first, then late in the game, Texas A&M gets on the board with a field goal. Plenty of chances to even get in the end zone. They kind of pulled what Ohio State did against Indiana. And they failed to capitalize on field goals. And they failed to capitalize on passes that could have been easily passes. And then the pass, then Miami ran it in for a touchdown. Game tied at 3. Miami ran it in for the touchdown late in the game, giving Miami the big lead, 10-3. Texas A&M had a chance, but failed to capitalize on it. All they did was take a knee. Game over. That was that. So now it is Miami's chance to at redemption from 23 years ago, back when I was in high school. I mean, what can I say? I was in high school then. That was the last time Miami ever... Miami played them 1 year in 2011 and ended up getting stomped, beating Ohio State 24-6, but that's beside the point. The point being is, Ohio State really came and showed they meant business in the title game, and every Miami fan you ask will say, well, they cheated. We were robbed from that game. That was not a pass interference penalty. Well, before that play was even called, you can actually call that a holding penalty. You don't even have, maybe they're right. Maybe that wasn't pass interference. But you could call a holding penalty, though, because he grabbed his jersey, and then when he got in the end zone, incomplete pass. So technically, he was might have been a late flag, but it was a legitimate late flag. It's called a holding penalty. So maybe they're right. Maybe pass interference wasn't the right call, but technically it was a legitimate penalty flag for a holding, just the incorrect call. But, oh well, it is what it is. They were not robbed. You legitimately lost that game. So, Ohio State will have a rematch with Miami from that game that happened 23 years ago, where us Buckeye fans are using the term, we broke you. In other words, we broke them around. They haven't been legitimate since then. And Miami hasn't won a title in anything, apparently, from what I've been hearing, since 2001. And I'm like, dang. Shoot, I didn't realize that. And when I saw that on Facebook, I'm like, holy cow. Maybe this is their chance for redemption, but I don't know about that. Ohio State, if they play like they played against Indiana, as long as Ohio State doesn't run the ball like they did against Indiana, as they try to lead more on the passing game and try to spread Miami thin, I can see us starting to lead on the run game. But you gotta spread them thin on the passing game. And that's where you can beat Miami. Now, Ole Miss, they'll have a chance with Georgia. Georgia, they lost to Georgia 43-35. Now, I don't know. The James Madison versus Oregon game's going on right now, so that's still to be determined the winner there. We'll talk about that game tomorrow, and then and that's the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, the one between Ohio State and Miami. And back then, that was the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl when Ohio State and Miami met in back in 2003 in double overtime, 31-24. Oh my gosh, I loved every bit of that game. The moment Ken Dorsey rushed Ken Dorsey and took him down right at the goal line, I really knew that game was over. And if they really want to talk about bad calls, the game literally should have ended in regulation. Because the game final score should have been 17-14. Because when his foot stepped out of bounds, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Clarett. Yeah, that's right, Clarett. When Clarett's foot stepped out of bounds, it was first down. Just saying. That's how I view it. So we got ourselves a game that's going to be quite entertaining here. So with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out here. Peace.